Alright, welcome back to another tutorial, and in this one I'm going to show you how to create these extremely magical spheres that you can see here. And I'm using height maps to do so, like to create them. And I'm gonna show you how to use height maps generally, and they're very lovely, and you can make some great stuff with them. So I'm gonna show you how to use them generally, not just in this context. And I'm also gonna show you how to create the transparent sphere and those extremely magical particles. Alright, so I'm not gonna talk too much beforehand. I'm gonna start with this render network here, and then I'm going to create all this, and then all this, and then all this, just so you know. Yeah, so I'm gonna just delete everything and start from scratch with you together if you feel like it. Okay, so I'm gonna drop a render in here and change the resolution to 1080. 1080? Yeah, 1080. Okay. We're gonna work with a square this time. And then I'm gonna attach a null to this and call it BG as always. And then I'm just gonna drop a couple of things in here that I'm gonna change later. So don't mind them now. You can also drop them in already. So Luma blur, which I'm gonna bypass, and a ramp, which I'm also gonna bypass. And we also want a level in here, or I do. And I'm also gonna drop a transform, change the alpha to 1 and the comp over background color to on. Then I'm gonna Control A and turn the viewer off and turn the display on the null here, so you can see that in the background. All right, so that's the top part. I'm going to add a all right, so we want to create this platform where everything's like where the magic is gonna happen on. So how do we do that? There's a couple of ways to go about this, but I'm going to show you three things. But I'm gonna start with the one that we're actually gonna use for the magic sphere, which I call it. So yeah, I'm gonna drop I just dropped a tube in here, and I'm gonna turn on the viewer, make the viewer active, and then press W to see this, to see the wireframe, the wireframe, and I'm going to change the height to 0, and also the first radius here to 0. And then you can see this beautiful kind of circular grid happening. And I'm gonna change the detail to like 400 by 400. And that's gonna screw up the FPS, but then I'm just gonna turn off the viewer and everything's fine. And I'm gonna attach a GU to this and not change anything there. I'm also gonna use a camera. Yeah, and in a second I'll change a lot of things about that. And then I'm gonna drop a light in here as well, and just drag this around a bit so we can see this platform there. All right, amazing. So what I'm also gonna do, no, not yet. Okay, so on the camera, I promised you to change some things there, so I will. I'm gonna use, wait, I'm lost. I'm gonna change the TY to 3 and Z to 0 for now, doesn't really matter. And now I'm gonna use a technique that I've used before, and that is using LFOs to basically create a circle so the camera moves around the platform. So before I do that, actually I'm gonna drop a null comp and I always make that a bit smaller so I can see the difference well, and then just drag that onto the lookout of the camera. Wait, why you? Oh yeah, that's okay. I'm going to change this channel name to CamX and attach that to a map and then a null, which I'm also going to call CamX. Okay, shut up phone. Okay, and I'm going to change the frequency to like 0.5 for now, just so you can see what's going on in a second very well. And then I'm gonna copy paste this and call this channel name CamZ. And on this one, I'm going to change the phase to like 0.25. And also on both these maps, I want to change the range from -1 to 1 and then -4 and 4. Okay, so I'm also going to call this CamZ and pulse both of these. So now you can see this is kind of, they're phasing in a way that it's creating a circle. You'll see what I mean now. If I make these active and then drag them in here, you can now see it's spinning. You can see that even better if I change the rotation to like -15. It doesn't really look like it's rotating, but with the light you can kind of see it's rotating. Okay, and now I'm gonna change the frequency to like 0.03. So now it's spinning very slowly. I'm also gonna change the rotation like to 0 for now again, because otherwise I'm gonna get dizzy. So I don't want that. We're also gonna need an attribute create in here, and that's gonna create tangents, and I'm just turning on both of these. We need that for the Phong material, which I'm going to add now. So this is the basic setup, and now we're gonna come to the fun part. Okay, so I'm going to drop a Phong material in here and drag that on there and turn the specular down. All right, I'm gonna get back to this, and I'm going to what I'm using for the height map is an image. And that image I got from, I got from earthview.withgoogle.com, which is a pretty great website where you can just look at pretty pictures from our beautiful planet. And these are like great inspiration, but also great for using that as height maps. So I'm just gonna take this one and drag that in here, and now you can see it's in there. And what I'm gonna do is connect this to a fit, and on the fit I'm going to change the fit to fit outside, and then change the resolution, just because I can, to 1024. All right, now I'm going to add them to null, or rather add a null to them, and then on the null here add another null and then add a normal here, normal map here as well, and another null. And this null I'm going to call normal map, and this one I'm going to call height map. Right, so we're going to use this as height map and normal map. So having this Phong selected, I'm going to use the normal map on the normal map. So now you can already see some stuff happening there. I'm going to use the height map as, first you need to enable the height map, and then drag the height map onto there. All right. And now I'm going to change the bump scale to 30. And trying to displace vertices on. And you can already see some stuff happening there. And I'm going to leave them at like 0.2. And now you can already play around with the light to kind of get different results. And on the cam, I'm going to change the FOV angle a bit, so we're like closer to it. I'm actually going to change this to get a different kind of image, like this. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. What you might have seen in my example or in my Instagram page as well is that I can this was moving, and that was just using a noise. And so I'm gonna drop a composite in here, leave that as multiply or on multiply, and then I'm gonna use a noise to change this. So you can already see some stuff going on there. And on the fit, I'm going to go to the comment page, right click on here and say copy parameter. Go to the noise, also on the comment page, right click and say pass reference. So now it's the same size. All right, and now I'm gonna change the period here to like 3, and change the amplitude to just a bit lower, and now we can like apps time this, like apps time.seconds times 0.2 or something, and now you can see it's moving. So this is what the map looks like, and this is what it looks like in 3D. So that's really cool. You might already notice the power of height maps. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's continue. On the phone here, we don't actually want to change anything. I already changed everything I wanted to change. So you can obviously change the display scale here. You can also put this, make this like turn this on, make this turn. Yeah, you can talk for sure. This is really just messing around with different parameters here. It's a lot of fun to play with, and you can just see the different results if you change the stuff there. You can also use the height map here as a color map, and then you actually have the colors of the image in there. But yeah, that's just if you like that. You might not. I don't want to do that now. Right now I just want to have it black and white, just like the example that I posted. All right, before we get to the next step, I just want to show you quickly that you can also obviously use this on different geometries. So you can use this on a sphere, for example, and change the detail to like 200 by 200 or something. And then you can just put that in there. So yeah, now you can see the map is being, the height map is being mapped onto the sphere. And if you want an actual, like if you want your image represented in a more in a truer way, if you can say that, you can create a grid. Also change this to like 200 by 200 or something, and then put that in there. And now you can see, if I actually just take that away, you can now see the noise or something, or like the image. If I actually bypass this, well, you can't actually see it well. But this is obviously a closer representation to what you actually see on the image, because if I just turn this down, now you can see it better. So on the tube, it's being distorted, and this in the round, like on the circular grid. And I'm gonna show you a little trick in a second to because now you can see this edge there, because obviously the image starts here and changes here, and then yeah, there's got to be an edge there. So same here. This distorts the image, and isn't really a true representation. So if you want to have that, you should use a grid. But then again, for the magic sphere, we want this. I'm just gonna delete these again. So if you don't want to have that edge there is a little trick that isn't really, like, it's not perfect, but it's using a mirror. And if I change this to 90 degrees, then now you can see the edge kind of goes away, but also it changes the image, obviously. So now, oh, it actually looks pretty cool. Yeah, so this kind of gets rid of the edge, but also changes the image quite a lot. So it's on you if you want to do that or not, obviously. I'm gonna leave that away for now, because also if you make the display scale bigger, you can barely see this edge anyways. Okay, cool. So before I go further, I'm gonna change a few things here. First thing is the level. I want this to be a bit brighter, so I'm gonna change this. And also I want to have like this tilt shift effect that I also showed in a different video. So I'm gonna turn this on, like unbypass both of these, and then I'm going to make this one white and add another one here in the center. Then I'm gonna make black. So I can already see some stuff happening. Also, I want the type to be vertical, so we have this kind of ramp. And I'm actually gonna make that 32-bit float mono. Not sure if that's necessary. Anyways, I'm going to change the luma blur to like the white filter width to like 40, and now you can really see the effect taking place. So that's AB. All right, cool. So we're done with the first two parts, or like the main part, I guess. Now I'm gonna show you how to create the transparent sphere around it. So surprisingly, we're gonna use a sphere for that. So I'm just gonna drop a sphere in here, and this sphere, I'm going to make that just a tiny bit bigger than it was before. So it's a bit bigger than this platform. And on the detail, I'm gonna turn off the compute normals and change the rows and columns again to like 200. Okay, then I'm going to connect this to Geo, and now we have this totally not transparent sphere there. And I'm going to leave everything on the Geo as it is, and I'm going to put a Phong material here as well. Drag that on there and say part material. We don't need any specular lights on this, and for now I'm gonna make it completely white. And now on the comment page, I'm actually just gonna turn down the alpha a bit, and then on the comment page I'm gonna turn blending on, the depth test off. And then I'm gonna here on the destination color say 1 minus source color, and that's basically it. Now if you change the light a bit, so like something like that, then you can really see the effect taking place. So I don't know, something like that. Yeah. Also, we might want to change this, because if I don't do that, maybe you can't see that because of compression, but there's these weird lines there. If I change this to 32-bit float mono, we just need mono actually, then these lines pretty much go away. I don't really like the light setting. That's better. All right. Cool. So to really make this extremely magical, we're gonna also insert some particles. So I'm going to copy paste the sphere and attach a sword to it. I'm also going to change the radius just a bit smaller, like 0.7. On the sword I'm going to change to random. Add particles here, so particle sop, and then I'm going to also attach a geo here. Okay. I'm not going to change anything about the geo. I'm just gonna add a point sprite material and put that on there. So now in the particle operator, I'm gonna change the particle type to point sprites and make more particles, like 1000. Turn down the life expect a bit. And on the forces, I'm going to change the turbulence to like 0.7 or something, and the turb period to 0.05. And now I'm gonna make them a bit bigger. So on the constant point scale, just turn that up a bit. And now you can see those particles being like created, and they're like dancing on there. Cool. So that is it. I'm just gonna show you a few things, as always, that you can mess around with. So obviously you can take any kind of image input that you want, or you can also just take a rectangle if you feel like it. So if I just put that in there, you can see it's being created. And yeah, you can, like, since this is just image material, you can put any kind of effect in here. That's why, like, or change the image here in any kind of way that you like. That's what makes height maps so extremely powerful. You can obviously also just take your webcam in with the like video device in here and make that interactive, or make this reacting to sound. So you can, if you watch my other tutorial, that time substitute thing, audio time substitute thing, then you could just use that here on the noise, and then this whole landscape's gonna react to music. So that's pretty cool as well. As I showed you, you can use different geometry inputs, and you can also, which also looks pretty cool, just figured that out earlier, you can just now change the height back up, and then you have like this, how's it called? Whatever you see there, cone, exactly. Which is also very nice. Also looks more magical, actually. Okay, and another thing, well, you can also, I'm going to change this to like -15 again, so it's tilted. You can use any kind of post-processing here, use different kind of blurs, different kind of particles, and play around with the font. As I said, there's a lot of room here to play with these different settings. Yeah, just feel free to mess around. And I think that's it for today. I hope you liked it. And thanks for watching, and I see you on the next tutorial.